Hello, my name's Tabitha Cardinal, and I'm here today to talk to you about the augmentative and alternative communication device known as sign language. Sign language is the use of motor movements that represent different words or phrases that you can teach another individual who may not be able to produce the vocal speech that's necessary to communicate, such as ball. So if a child is unable to say ball, they can sign and they're able to communicate that they want a ball or they see a ball or whatever it is they're trying to tell us with ball. They can also pair it with other words as well to further communicate their needs. Sign language is useful for those who may not have vocal speech at all, or maybe their vocal speech just is unintelligible, or they're very limited in their speech. Sign language is paired typically with vocal speech in something that's called a total communication method. So as I demonstrated, you would say ball. So you would sign ball and say ball at the same time in the hopes the child would eventually be able to develop that vocal speech as well as the sign language for ball to help them communicate until they're able to do so. Sign language is thought to be used for those that are typically deaf or mute. However, it has been shown to have emergent treatment in the autism spectrum disorder diagnosis population. In a few minutes, I am going to actually use my oldest son. He is 10, and he is going to be a client for me, and I'm going to teach him some signs. He does not know what signs I'm going to teach him. I have asked him to mess up a little bit so that I can fully demonstrate how you would effectively teach a child, because he is a neurotypical child and is a little bit more advanced than his peers, and so he's likely to typically pick up on these signs very quickly. But in order to establish a real life example, I asked him to mess up a little bit so I can show how we would use our prompt hierarchy. With that being said, when teaching sign language, it is important to use a prompt hierarchy as well as pairing it with reinforcement right away. So going back to our example of ball, we would say ball, and you would immediately provide a ball. That way they're able to pair the word, the sign, and what the word and sign means right away. So if you were to just say ball without delivering a ball, they aren't going to be able to pair what it is that you're trying to get them to accomplish. But providing that immediate reinforcement, you make it more likely that they are going to then repeat ball, because they know that that means they're going to get a ball, or it means that maybe they can watch somebody play ball, or whatever it is may be reinforcing to that client in particular. So now I am going to go get my son, and I'm going to demonstrate how you could effectively teach a couple of different signs with your client. All right, so this is my son that I was speaking about. His name is Cameron, and he is going to be our client for today. So as we were just talking about with ball, I actually have a ball, and we are going to teach him how to sign for ball as our first example. All right, ball. Oh, copy me. Ball. Ball. Oh, good job. Here's a ball. So as we were talking about with our prompt hierarchy, he was really close to the sign of ball, so I chose just to do one model prompt. So I repeated it again in hopes that he would have gotten it. If he would have messed up again, I would have went in with a full physical, and then I would have prompted him ball altogether. But he was able to do it with just the model prompt, so now we're going to test it again to see if he was able to retain the ball. Copy me. Ball. Oh, good job. All right, and now we'll see if he will independently request the ball if he sees a ball. What's this? Awesome, good job. He is vocally saying ball as well. Typically, our students would not vocally say ball. I forgot to tell him not to say ball. But this is an example of how you would teach ball per se. You could also incorporate, if after a while he's doing really well with ball, you could also say play ball. That would be something for more advanced learners if they're able to say single words pretty well. You wouldn't want to add in that second word until then. So now we can demonstrate how we would sign for drink. All right. What do you want? Say drink.
Drink.
Oh, drink.
Drink.
Good job. Here's your drink.
Thank you.
Okay, you can't speak. All right. What do you want? Drink.
Drink.
Oh, great job. Here's your drink. So in this instance, he wasn't really moving his hands quick enough or well enough. So I decided to go with that full physical to show him that he has to move his hands all the way up to his mouth in order to do the sign for drink. Sometimes this may be very similar to eat, as we're going to learn in just a minute. For example, I actually taught my youngest some sign language when he was 1. And I thought that doing this for drink would be too confusing with eat, which he was already doing. So we actually used the sign for milk, like this, for drink. And it was more effective. So sometimes the teacher can teach the student a different word instead of the typical sign, as long as those that are communicating with him are able to differentiate what that sign is to mean. So our last example is going to be, I'm going to teach him how to sign for eat. And we're going to try to combine it with 2 words because my learner is doing a great job and he is able to pick up on all of these single words. So after teaching him eat, we are going to combine it with more eat, which he already knows the sign for more. All right. What do you want? Eat. Eat. Great job. What do you want? Eat. Perfect. Here's your eat. All right. So we're going to assume that he now knows that this is the sign for eat and this is the sign for more. And we're going to show that he is really hungry and he is wanting some more to eat. So what do you want?
More.
Great job. Here's your some more eat. All right. Thank you. You can be done. So as we just saw, sign language can be useful for those who don't have the vocal speech. My son did have vocal speech. But typically they wouldn't say the words out loud, but it would be very similar to that. We would show the sign, speak the sign, and then provide that reinforcement right away for whatever it is that we sign. That way the child can pair it, just as we paired drink with a drink. We paired eat with food, and we paired ball with a ball. That allows for the learner to more effectively learn. Reinforcing it immediately provides for better retention options. And then also utilizing our prompt hierarchy, you want to always you never want to allow for your learner to make mistakes when they're first learning something, as that sets them up for failure and it makes them feel as if possibly they're not able to do so. So in order to prevent that frustration, you do always use your most to least prompting. Once they have that sign in their repertoire, you should switch to least to both prompting. And that would go from just a verbal, saying, oh, move it to your mouth, or the full physical where you grab their hands and you move their hands all together. As stated earlier, this is useful for those diagnosed with autism that may not have that vocal speech, or their vocal speech is not effective enough for them to communicate fully. And it can be used for children of all ages. It has had a lot of research with early learners, but it is still considered an emergent treatment. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you were able to learn something. Have a great day. Bye.